Hi, everybody. It's Polo the Clown here from Scary USA. And you're watching This is Scary Wisconsin.
Pull my microphone away because I'm always so loud. You might have me at 200 in Discord, so I'm just so obnoxiously loud every time I listen to videos.
Welcome back, everyone. Justin with This is Scary Wisconsin, and I'm joined here tonight by my best friend, Gage. And it's time to talk about halfway to Halloween at Scare USA. Now, Gage, of course, you and I arrived. What time did we arrive?
8:50.
8:50, 9-ish. Yeah,
around 8:50, and we went in around 9:50.
Yeah, we went into the event around 9:50.
It was about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really? It was that long? It did not feel that long at all.
It didn't feel that long because we were talking shit with Pogo and watching him boop 20-some people. It was just hilarious. Yeah. So this was a little bit different take. You know what's weird, right? Is because this was advertised as like a blackout with flashlight, follow the arrows kind of a show. Mm-hmm. I forgot that we had a flashlight. Did you?
No, I knew that.
Yeah, because you were the one carrying it, so I just kind of forgot that we had a flashlight because I basically just held on to your hoodie collar the whole time and was like, okay, do.
Mm-hmm. You felt like a traditional blackout for you, one with the glow stick and stuff.
Yeah, it definitely was not traditional blackout, I would say, by any means. It was almost like... So it was almost like they took their regular haunt, flooded it with fog and smoke, and then just let the people go through with the flashlight.
That's exactly what I told Jenna.
Yeah.
She was like, how was it? I'm like, it's like blackout, but with fog and a flashlight.
You know, honestly... The price tag on general admission was $15.
That's worth it, if you ask me.
It was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Too Long Didn't Read version of this video, for those of you that don't stick around for the 20-minute videos, this was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
$15
Something to do if you want to get your haunted house fix. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's not like you were just corralled through and, okay, bye. You know, it's like, you could easily get lost in there. And yeah, I mean, it was decent.
Especially towards the end, because you could tell people get lost because we caught up to a group, and this group was cycling around there, and then they keep spinning us around, and they got to the point, and we knew exactly where the exit was.
Yeah, we knew.
As they left the room, we just left. But yeah. Continue. I cut you off.
Well, now that we just got the just general thoughts out of the way, let's what do we do? Mm-hmm. Scenery sounds scarce. I mean, it's
scenery sounds scarce. Actors,
actors, VIP, all that good stuff. But we talked about this in a previous video. Oh gosh, we talked about this in a previous video, and I want to get this out of the way before we go any further. Our scares rating this year is going to be a lot harder to score high on. So to any haunts out there that see this, don't take it personally. So basically doing anything short of throwing a burlap sack over my head and dragging me through an open field is not going to get you 100 anymore. So that being said, we wanted to make that clear, because there's definitely going to be some haunts out there that are like, why was my scare score so low? Well, because it wasn't.
You guys gave me a 90 last year, and a 60
now you're giving me a 75. What the hell's going on? Well, because it's not necessarily scary, and a little jump scare here and there is okay. You play on that, okay, you got me, but I wasn't really scared. It was more of a reactionary thing. So
exactly,
we want to get that out of the way before we go any further with any of these reviews this year. Let's talk about it. Scenery.
From what we could see,
yeah.
My scenery score, with the fact that everything was all foggy, because that is scenery, keeping the fog in there, and then us only with the little flashlight. I don't know what you could see, because you're not the one with the flashlight, but here's me going around corners like this and flicking around like you would think I got a gun in one hand. I'm clearing a room and corners and stuff.
You play too many video games. I just wanted to throw that out there.
But going through it, the scenery, I can tell, you know, they took some wood from some places and then changed up the scenery, changed up the pathing a little bit, because I think you and I, as we're going through it, we're like, we should be going through this door, but we can't. Where it's blocked off, so we'll go through here, which is nice. I do like that they kind of mix up a little bit for the scenery. The scenery, you know, if I have to give it a score, I would have to give it a solid 80. 80, I think is fair, only because I don't know if much of it was new, more or less just new pathing. But the scenery itself, though, is still cool. You like how the actors and their masks blend in with the scenery,
Yes.
and how you made that point, and like you can't tell if that's an actor or that's just a prop. They did a really good job with that.
There was one of the rooms right away we were walking through, and it was like, it almost looked like a doll up against the back wall, like under this little like ledge. And I said, I can't tell if that's an actor or a prop. And when we walked into the next room, they came running behind me, snarling and you know, whatever they did. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it was a freaking actor. But, you know, so it's a really good way to blend scenery and actors together. And I thought it was really good for that. And actually, because of that, almost that alone, I'm giving it an 85 on scenery. I thought they did, you know, it's typical Scary USA right now for scenery. Their build is nice, right?
It's a very nice build.
It's not a 100 build. It's not a 50 build. I feel like 85 is appropriate, or your 80. I feel like it's a fair score. It's nice in their warehouse where they do this Scary USA event. There is claustrophobia. There is darkness. There is very obviously lit rooms. Like, there's all of that in there, so it plays with all of your senses, just based around like lighting, based around, you know, the sheets that they use, based around, you know, the falling, whatever. So overall I thought the scenery was solid. 85, really nice, and they continue to impress in that department. I'll lead on sounds on this one, just because, you know, for me, right, if I'm going through a haunt and all I hear is, I wanna fucking kill you, I can't enjoy the show, right? I'm sorry, I can't enjoy the show. You know, so for me, sounds are really important, right? When you do have a siren go off, I want it to make me go, whoa, you know, like it should hit you in the chest a little bit. It shouldn't just be a wee wee wee, and then it's like, oh, that just blends in with the wow 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 wee wee wow 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 wow, you know, like, you know what I'm trying to say, Gage? Right? Like, I should be able to detect each of these different sounds, each of these different audio whatever. I should be able
whether that fits the theme of the room as well.
Thank you. And I should be able to pick that stuff up. And I don't like it when I go into a room and it's just loud music, or, you know, just, and that's it. Or you know, once in a while is acceptable, but it shouldn't be every room. And Scare USA does a nice job of balancing that. Yes, they have sirens. Yes, they have foghorns, but they're placed in appropriate areas. Not every stupid actor has a clown horn or some stupid shit, you know? I mean, that just gets to be dumb after a while. It's like, I like to have the sounds be meaningful. And again, I feel like this is one of the areas where they really excelled. Their sounds are appropriate. The atmosphere due to said sounds is also appropriate. I'm an additional 85 on sounds.
You know, I like how you do say that when it comes to like every room, and I have to say when it comes to placement and the speakers in its own self, because with the flashlight, it helps me focus on individual things because I've only got it in one place, and as opposed to a lit up room and there's hello little dinosaur. as opposed to all these things going on. I'm looking at everything. When I had that flashlight, I kind of noticed I can fixate on things. Why I'm bringing this up is because as we're going through some of the rooms and stuff, I can kind of pinpoint where some of the speakers are, and how well hidden they can be. Again, with the fact that I got a flashlight and I'm zeroed in on whatever I'm looked at with the flashlight, yeah, of course I'm gonna find some hidden things. That's just how that is. But when you got a lit up room and stuff, I don't notice these things going through it without lights. So with with sounds and how it like every room has a theme. I believe didn't they had gunshot sounds?
Yeah, it'd be like that. Wouldn't it be like the?
Yeah, the popping where ears were like ringing.
Yeah.
They had that around the wanted poster boardroom. Now I'm pretty sure they've had that for a couple of years now already, but it's still worth to mention. They, like I said, they keep with the themes, and that's what that's what sounds is. That's what it is to keep the theme of the room.
They're there to immerse you in what they're trying to portray.
Exactly. Oh God, what was that? It was like a weird hair in my tooth. Oh God. Okay. I was like talking and I'm like picking at it with my tongue. Anyways. Lost my train of thought there.
This is why we're never getting invited to like HauntCon or some shit.
This is not, no. As we're going through the haunt, I like how oddly silent some rooms can be.
Creepy.
And you can't even tell there's other rooms in this haunt. And it's just so isolated until you move on to the next room and bam, here's a siren going off or something like that. Mm-hmm. Somehow how they reduce the noise pollution from other rooms really capitalizes on each individual's room and their theme. So I love that.
That's something that Scare USA does really well. And
they really do.
I think
just wood. I
think it's because we walk through the haunt and we're so hyper focused on what's right here or right here or right here or right here for actors or scenery, we don't hear the pop, 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 the room in front of us. We don't hear the wee, 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 and the next room in front of us. We don't hear any of that stuff. Like, I find myself, literally, as we're going through, like, I don't even notice that stuff. Sure, it's going on. It's absolutely going on. And I'm sure if I really stood there, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can hear that 6 cells down or 6 blocks down. We're going to come into that, But, like, we're so focused. It completely, you zero in so well. That is something that Scare USA has really done well with their sounds. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we're giving that one a rating, I'd have to say a 90.
Yeah.
I think it really deserves a 90 because if I can't hear because if I can hear some popping going on in a room or for you ahead of me, it's going to ruin the surprise for me.
Because I'm
going to know what's coming.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't know what's coming and the fact they can isolate each individual room, that's got to be a 90. That's very well done. I really do like it. Absolutely. The only way I could really give it 100 is if they come up with some sounds or something like that I've never even fucking heard of, like some inhuman sounds. But other than that, man, a 90 I think is very well placed for this.
All right, let's talk about scares. This is probably going to piss some people off. Scares for me are a 70 to 75. There were some good jump scares, like some good instant scares.
Yeah.
Like when I say instant scares, I mean it's like a bam and done. I knew for the most part nothing was going to grab me. I knew for the most part nothing was going to swing a weapon in my face or anything like that. We just don't really typically encounter that there. And so the scares that there were like real quick jump scares, and they were real flash in the pan scares, which is whatever, that's fine. But it really, we talked about this in our review scores are changing video. To get 100, even to get a 90 on this, it's got to be on that holy shit level. We were talking about this on our way there because you asked me, well, how are we going to score the scores, Jesse? What are we going to do? I said, if you want to get that 90 or 100, you got to make me go, holy fucking shit. Nothing in the house made me go, holy fucking shit. So I can't give it a 90. I can't give it a 95. I can't give it a 100. Nothing in the house really even made me go close. I will say the best we had was I would say the red hair clown, just so they get their, make sure they get their props. Very good, very large stature, very creepy the way they approach, like right in your face.
And they got close.
And you know the thing is though, we didn't even try to do a jump scare. Just creepy as hell. Very, very well done. But 70, 75. You know, when I say 75, because you're approaching that 80 mark, some good jump scares, some good moment-to-moment scares. The actors, they were on point. We'll talk about actors when we get to that. But the actors doing the scares were very good. The masks were creepy. The outfits were creepy. All that stuff was really solid. Again, 70 to 75. And because you're hearing 70 to 75, nobody should be listening to that going, those fucking sons of bitches, they only gave us a 70 to 75. What's wrong with Justin?
Wait for the next year to come. Wait for the year.
That's actually a really good score, because I can tell you right now there's some haunts that are probably going to get a 30 or a 40 on their scary. So do not take a 70 to 75 and go, oh, that's a really bad score. It's actually a really good score, and it's what most haunts are probably going to score.
You know, when we bring
all right, nobody cares what you think about scares. Let's talk about the actors.
Scare is very subjective.
It is.
Obviously, if you talk to Jenna as opposed to Jenna's probably going to give the scares a lot higher. So when it comes to scares, you know, if you're a high school kid and like you're jumpy as hell, this would be a terrifying experience for you.
You mean like the guys that were in front of us that were jumping and screaming at everything? Even Pogo was like, I don't know why they're getting so scared, you know?
Right. So, like, it's so subjective. Like, for us to say that, and I feel like we would have someone who would be, like, very terrified of everything. They're scared of every little thing. They hear a bump in the night and they can't sleep. Like, I feel like that one person would watch our video and be like, oh, so it's not scary. I'm going to go in there, I'm not going to be scared at all. And
then they, like, piss their pants in the middle of the haunt. Yeah.
So, and again, like, subjective, that's what it is. But touching more on the haunt itself when it comes to scare, yes, it has its traditional jump scares, and
they did get you a couple times.
I would say scared me once, surprised me multiple times.
Surprised, that's the good word. That's a good word to use. Yeah.
Scare is me going, holy shit. That's me getting scared.
Get down.
Surprise is like, oh wow, like that. Me saying, oh wow. There's different moments, because I've had plenty of times they jump up my face, stuff like that. I don't see them. But when it comes to scares, I loved how they were eerie in a lot of them. I don't know if you noticed it, but we saw someone sitting on a table.
I did notice it.
Okay. But when we walked past them, when we walked by, they just sat there. They didn't do anything. And you were right behind me, and I was curious. I'm like, was that a prop? Was that a person?
Oh, no, they moved their head. They followed us. They moved their head.
Okay, yeah, so you did see that. So as I looked over your shoulder behind you, I saw the person just sitting there like that. That is creepy.
It is creepy.
That's eerie. I like that.
Me too.
The traditional, bah, you know, hey, we're here. It's okay. I mean, that's cool, but it's always overused. And you brought up the clown with the red hair towards the end. He also did like a creepy instance to where he didn't really try to jump scare me. He just walked close to me and got up to my face and just stopped, and then just looked at me and started talking to me. And I'm just like, okay, you know, hey. Get in that personal bubble. Get in that little circle, that little hula hoop that everyone liked to keep on them. That little imaginary hula hoop, I should say. When you get in that bubble, that's a great way to make people feel uncomfortable and freak them out. Yeah. Especially high schoolers coming through there, middle schoolers, whatever, or just an adult who is very jumpy. That would scare a lot of people. So did they execute scares well? Yes. Did it scare me a whole lot? Not really, but that doesn't mean it's not scary. So if I'd had to give it a rating, I'd have to give it a, I think I was borderline. I was 70. I think 70 was fair for me there. Because I feel like I should have been scared a little more, at least me being in front. But again, hey, 70, as you said, that's a great score. There's some haunts where we look back on now, back in the 2022 season, and we're thinking, why the fuck did we give it that score? Why did we do that? We felt like that was like
So,
giving it some more thought. We were thinking about some more thought.
For comparison, if I had to go back by this new, like, how we're being more critical of scares for like Tara and the Fox from last year, if I had to rescore their scares last year, they would have a 30 for scare rating.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you're ever really gonna see a 90 or 100 from me unless I piss myself or something, which is gonna be really hard to do. So if you're gonna see a 90 or 100 out of me, then yes, that is a go-to scary haunt. I think peak you're gonna see me say 80 or 85, but 90 to that 100 range, you really gotta do something special, and you gotta surprise the hell out of me.
Well, like I said, anything short of throwing a burlap sack over my head and dragging me through an open field with the fucking chainsaw running in my ear is not gonna do it. And even that probably wouldn't, because I know you can't hurt me. So
And again, I think that's where that whole touching thing comes into play. If we're able to get touched, that I'm going to bring up Spooks and Spur, but that's going to freak me out. That might give it a little bit of a boost in ratings. But then again, you go to a haunt, you know what you sign up for.
yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the actors, because they are the star of the show on a night like this. So any of the blackout nights, especially if you have live actors in your blackouts, your live actors are going to drive the action. They are going to drive the excitement. And boy, did they ever. The actors were on par. Masks were great. The creep factor was great. The corners, the hidey holes, the hiding in plain sight was great. The voices, the shrieks, the laughs, they even dicked with us a little bit. I know Justin, and it was good.
Nobody knew me.
It was good, right? Well, they usually know you and not me, because nobody likes me.
Yeah,
I'm just the fucking asshole that calls everybody out now, and nobody likes me for it. But they were good, and they're not above interacting.
Mm-hmm.
And like I even said to the actors in one of the rooms, I'm like, hey, get us out of this room. You guys can keep dicking with these guys. We'll get out of your way, because we knew where the exit was, and they let us go. Because
they weren't too stuck up their ass.
No, you
gotta go around. You gotta go around.
No,
they weren't like that. They were chill.
But the actors in the rooms played their parts well. They did their corners well. They did their quadrants well. And I noticed that, I'll give you the nurse guy, for example, right? So he hits us here. Then we come down the hallway. The other guy gets us. Then the nurse guy comes back through a hole in the wall. Gets us. Then he comes back around. And then we're moving around, another guy or two gets us, and then the nurse hits us again. So this guy is hitting us 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times, and it's good, right? It's how do I say it? It's scare actor performance at its rawest level, at its best level. And they're working the quadrants well. They're doing their part as the characters well, and I really, really enjoyed it. My initial thoughts on this were 80 to 85, but then I remembered, these guys know their craft, and these guys perform it so well. I'm happy to give a 90 to the actors at Scare USA on the Halfway to Halloween event. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. You guys were outstanding. Red-haired clown, you're a fucking prick, and it was fantastic. That is not a diss. That is not a slap. You were fantastic. Like, all of the actors were outstanding. Mm-hmm. I could not look back through that house and point any actor that I would say, what are you doing here? And mm-hmm. The owner even told us that they had some new actors. And we're just throwing them into the fire. We're going to let them fuck around and find out, basically, is what he said. And they were finding out. Like, the actors were on point. Everybody did their part, and they did it well. Whether it was Mrs. Pogo the Clown, you know, with us in the hallway with the butt stickers. That was awesome. Whether it was the red hair clown talking shit to us for literally like probably 10 minutes straight, 5 minutes straight, it's awesome. Whether it was the minions hitting us in the hallways, getting us through the hidey holes. Very well done. 90 on the actors. Very, very pleased.
Hey, actors make the haunt. They really do. You can have whatever props or whatever animatronics there is, but actors do make the haunt. And when it comes to them, they played their part. Whether it be the theme of the room, or it's just them being an a-hole character, or it's them just being a silent, creepy type. They all have their own individual roles, as well as their own additional profiles of the characters that they play, and they play it well. They play it to the T. You can always tell that there's that one creepy doll girl that's just quiet and will watch you. You got that one obnoxious guy and that will just be climbing everywhere and be getting in your face and stuff. Like, they all have their own unique little personas, because it's really easy to go through a haunt and see it blend together, as in just someone comes on the corner, bah, so there's another person on the corner, bah. It's that you go through that and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Same old shit. I'm bored.
It's the same old shit.
Yeah, I'm bored.
When you have these actors who have their own individual personalities mixed into these characters, or just the characters of the roles that they're playing, it really does bring it to life. It makes every room feel different and fresh, which is essential. So that's what I like to see. That's what I was seeing a lot of going through Scare USA. It wasn't just a traditional, bah! I mean, yes, it was, but there were also, we will go in a room, someone's going to be quiet. And there were plenty of times in past reviews that I said, we need more quiet people. That's an underrated haunt technique. That's an underrated scare technique, is to just sit in a corner, watch, or be eerie, and then just come up on your peripherals, and just something like that. It's not done a lot. But tonight, or last night I should say, they did it well. So when it comes to scares, actors. When it comes to actors, I do as well. Actually, I want to give it an 85. I was going to give it a 90. Now, but this is me. This is just who I personally am, and I like to peek. I like to look around. I like to see if I can catch people before they catch me. And I like to see if there's an actor already there waiting in a corner, and I've seen that quite a bit. And I think that's where John was saying some of these might be some newer actors going into it, and that's what I was kind of noticing. I've caught quite a few actors in that haunt prior to them coming to me. Now, I don't know if it's them maybe working during quadrants, because you could tell they were. How many times we've seen the nurse? Plenty of times. Maybe they're working a quadrant someplace, and they're like, oh shit, I gotta get over here. Maybe that's what's happened on a few of them. But regardless, I've caught a lot before they got to me, so I had to say around the 85 range would be quite fair. But other than that, man, the actors were great. I loved it. They brought life into each individual room, and I can't stress it enough. They were one of the best parts about that haunt. Before we do move on to the MVA's Most Valuable Actor, I do want to mention, though, that we do have the fun part. Remember, we have a fun rating.
Yes, it was fun.
Because it was fun.
It was fun, and it was so fun I wanted to go a second time, and I actually found myself, even as, you know my schedule is tight. I rarely like to be out super late anymore. Even as tight as my schedule is, I literally found myself saying, yeah, I want to go through this again. And when we couldn't because the ticket booth was closed, there was actually a part of me that was like, fuck. I kind of wanted to go again. Right? So that was that's how I knew I was having legitimate fun. Because even I wanted to go a second time.
Mm-hmm. And did we give it a fun rating, or was it just a yes or no question?
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no question.
It's a yes or no.
The answer is yes. It was fun.
It was fun with all the actor interactions and them roasting you and stuff like that, as well as the outside interactions with Pogo and the different actors. It's a blast. Is it a fun? Yes. I would have loved to have gone again, stuff like that.
Yep.
But we just arrived too late.
So let's do Most Valuable Actor. I have two. My first one is Pogo the Clown. Made an hour wait in line seem like 15 minutes. It was a great time. Awesome guy. Rock star to interact with. gave us the great intro for the video. Super grateful about that. And I think Pogo the Clown is a fantastic entertainer, master of his craft, and I really hope they continue to utilize him more to his full potential there at Scare USA. It's my first most valuable actor. My second most valuable actor is the red-haired clown, Prick the Clown. Absolutely fantastic.
You couldn't name him that?
Absolutely fantastic.
Prick the Clown.
Got right in her face, pulled no punches, was a absolute asshole, and did not give a shit. Did not care. I always say, if you're going to a haunted house, you know what you're signing up for. This is not for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like somebody should be cussing me out and screaming in my face 24/7. But this is one of the first actors I've encountered that really was not afraid to say really mean shit to us. It was good. And I don't necessarily always encourage that. But when you are in a more adult setting, treat me like an adult. I'm not a child.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't take, if I
group well,
you know, if I have to act like Mr. I'm a big tough guy. I was in the military. I ain't afraid of shit. You know, and I have to act like, then get offended every time somebody cracks a joke to me. Dude, I don't have time for that. Okay, I'm a grown ass man. We're all adults. Act like it. And I was totally fine with the actor taking shots at us, taking ribs at us. I thought that was excellent. One of the first actors that I've encountered that really took some risks, and I really liked that about them. So they get my second most valuable actor award.
My MVA, the people I want to pick, and I do say people because there's a few, it's really hard to go ahead and individually select one because they were all fantastic in their own selves. Mm-hmm. If I was going my best actors, I would have to say two. One would be the one, as I mentioned earlier in the video, to the one just sitting on the table watching us. I do really appreciate those scares.
Excellent.
The creepy scares, just watch me be a little psycho stalker and something. Mm-hmm. That is always a great scare. And it's underused and underappreciated. I think that was a great actor's... I can talk now, but I just thought the actor did well. The one who was being quiet on the table, I think it's a doll room, whichever it is, I don't know, but you did a good job. My second one, I would have to say, it's hard for me to say that what the actor looked like because I couldn't really see a whole lot. I just know it was a girl. But it was when we had to walk in a room sideways and we had just a whole dishwasher or sinks right in front of us of blood and guts and stuff. And like she had to stall us. Yeah. Now, stalling us, I'm not saying we're bad people. I'm just saying we know when we're being stalled. We know when we're being stalled, so we're going to make use of it, and we're going to make fun of this situation that we're in. And the fact that she was able to get our jokes, for one thing, because I made quite a few jokes. Stayed in character, as well as entertain us for that time being as we're being stalled. Because we saw the group, she opened the door for a group, and then pushed it closed, and then looked at us. And then she didn't do anything. She just looked at us. And then we kind of made away the situation, and she played her part there. I remember us looking at the sink, and she said, put your babies there or something like that, and we had the little baby tacks, wherever they were. We just put them all over the sink and stuff. So the fact that she was able to stall us and keep us entertained, that also deserves an MVA. So those are my two MVAs, the individual sitting on the table and the girl working that little sink room stalling us for the next group.
I just want to remind you guys that merch links are in the description. Our merchandise for Is It Scary Wisconsin is, of course, available. And you can follow us at... I don't use either of those.
Is It Scary Wisconsin?
That's for Instagram. And Is It Scary _Wisconsin for TikTok, where we never upload because he doesn't do content. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Gage, viewers want to know one thing. It's a really important question.
Is it Scary Wisconsin?
You tell us your thoughts in the comments. Scare USA, halfway to Halloween. We enjoyed our stay there, and we can't wait to go back later in the season. Justin with Is It Scary Wisconsin, best friend Gage, and we will see each and every one of you right here next time. Gage, a.k.a. Jenna, when she's not here, take us home.
Have a good night, everybody.
Ugh.